Red button's there. We're recording. Sweet. We survived.
Professionalism.
I don't know about that. Probably not even close.
Something like it.
Yeah, I've been accused of that.
Professional adjacent. That's as close as I get.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Adjacent. I'm adjacent to being professional. That means I'm allowed to be politically incorrect, right?
I think so.
It's all good. That's a good. Hey guys, it's Matt Lemke, John Swinkels. I don't know if you can see the top of that, but we're at Palladium Press booth or Satellite. Yeah, wow, I'm an idiot. Palladium Press. No, we're at Privateer Press. And the funny part is the abbreviation on all the codes is PIP. I almost said the PIP. So like,
I've been called worse.
Well, like ACD, it's PIP.
Right.
So, that's how I know you from back in the day when I had my store. It's PIP. It's nothing else. It's PIP. So if you guys ever hear me say PIP, you know what I'm talking about.
Privateer Press.
Privateer Press. Creators of War Machine, Level 7.
Boards,
Bodgers, yeah. I was gonna say Bulgers. Iron Kingdom, their RPG game, and
Widow's Wood, which we've got with us.
Company of Iron. There's an old game out there called Something Iron that I always want to say. Tide of Iron is a board game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and ever since they told me about Company of Iron, I'm like, Company of Iron?
Sure.
Because, my brother really likes Tide of Iron. But anyway, we're going to talk largely, I think, about the Grymkin. And maybe he can give us more information on Company of Iron. Well, I don't know how much more you're allowed to leak.
I can say all the things I can say. So basically, like when in marketing, if they tell me things, my job is to spread it far and wide.
Oh.
So if they tell me secrets, that's on them.
Cool. I want his job. I don't have to worry about what I say. You walk around here as a press guy, and sometimes you're trusted. It's like, wait a minute, am I allowed to talk about this? And they don't make you sign NDAs, so I guess you are.
Yeah, if I give you stuff, talk about it.
Yeah, I will.
Easy.
I will. But anyway, so in the process of bringing the Grymkin out, I got a lot of friends that kind of like I don't get that. I don't get that group. I don't get that faction.
Okay.
So they kind of seem like a hodgepodge mix mash of all kinds of unique special abilities.
Sure.
Like maybe they were alchemist ideas that they had back here for a group, and maybe another group over here.
So the simple answer is they're basically kind of the things that go bump in the night, right? They're the things that like you tell your kids, don't do this or the blank will get you, right?
Yep.
Don't tell lies, otherwise so and so might get you. Don't be a coward, otherwise you become a hollow man. Don't don't short sell your crops, otherwise you might become a dread rod, so on and so forth. So basically, the simple overview is when Menoth was first, really making his presence known as a god, and like, hey, let's do this civilization thing, let's bring about these laws. You had a group of people that were like, I'm not really into that, so we're going to defy you. So these defiers became the warlocks of this faction because Menoth sent them down to Urkane. They're down there being tortured and tormented by their nightmares. And then, for reasons unknown, the old witch said, "Ollie Ollie Oxenfree," pulled them all up out of Urkane, along with the nightmares that were tormenting them, that the Defiers have now turned into their armies. So, for example, the Skin and Moans is, could be any number of, people that were being punished because they were murderers, right? And they used to torture, like the King of Nothing or the Heretic. That is now a heavy war beast in their faction.
Okay. So that adds a lot of history that I didn't expect to see. But that's really cool. That they're basically tormented souls.
Basically, yeah. And then the people, the warlocks that lead them are the ones that originally defied Menoth, right? And said we don't want your civilization. We don't
call them a cult.
Sure, we didn't want your laws, right? So they're basically here to undo as much of that as possible.
Very cool. So what are some of the, when you were like playtesting and stuff, what were some of the obvious strategies and even less obvious strategies that came out that you guys think are going to be utilized by the Grymkin?
So a big key difference to the the mechanic for this particular limited faction is they have their own cards, right? So instead of having a feat, they have these Arcana cards. And so similar to a feat, they can only be used once per game, but you have one that is known and one that is hidden, or some other combination depending on your warlock, right?
Okay.
So they're like mini feats that get activated under certain conditions. Like, for example, I might use one on my Hollow Men that anytime one of them dies, I get to roll to see if I get to bring it back.
Okay.
So I could get some recursion, I could get some additional defensive stats, powerful offensive stats, what have you. So they mirror feats in a certain way, but they're much more fluid.
Okay.
And I'd say that's the key difference.
That's the key difference. All right. So let's move to Company Iron. I already know some stuff. And I only saw 2 models over there, so you haven't really released what all the box is out there now, right?
The box mock-up.
So we do know what's in the whole set now.
Yep.
And it's only small and medium-sized bases. So I don't know if you got to watch the Origins video or not.
Yep.
Okay. So what can you add to what Will said?
So basically, like, just the super fast rundown, either, like, pound some points home, or just, like, everything that is in War Machine and Hordes is in Company of the Iron, with the exception of a few things. You don't have anything that manipulates focus or fury, so no warlocks, no warcasters, no journeymen of either flavor, so no juniors, and then nothing that's immobile. And as you said, nothing that's above a medium base, right? With the and so no warjacks other than lights. So if you have something that's Jack Marshall or Beast Handler, I can't remember which one it is, you can bring a light.
Oh, okay. That I didn't know before.
Yeah. Everything is faction allowance 1, right? So if you bring a unit of trenchers, you're not going to bring trencher infantry, you're not going to bring another unit of a trencher infantry. Play at 20 or 25 points, solos, unit attachments, it's all good.
Okay. So that kind of limits, well, maybe not. There's a lot of infantry out there.
There's lots.
Yeah, so you can actually have a really big game.
Yep. Yeah, you can go, like I was saying, you play at 20 or 25 points. Games, if you're familiar with the rules of War Machine Hordes, take 45 minutes-ish.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so it goes a lot faster. You're rolling off for priority, which is kind of like initiative, and basically going to town. You make casualty rolls instead of tough checks, and each unit gets to make those. So on a 1 and 2, you're dead. On a 3 to 4, you're in bleed out. So you get feign death, you're knocked down, and then on your next activation, you have to try to basically revive yourself and hope to get a 5 or a 6, which has you just knocked down.
That's very cool. So it's fast.
Very fast.
Very fast.
Very fast.
A little bit brutal. I like that.
Or as hell.
Or as hell. I know James is all fired up about it and wants to do like a whole tournament scene and everything for it.
Yeah, well, so it will probably never become a official competitive format, right? It's meant to be much more narrative, much more bring all your terrain on the table, because with the alternating activations, it all matters.
I see it as a stepping stone from the RPG into War Machine Hordes.
Sure.
Very much I can see that.
Or wait, like if you've already played a bunch of War Machine Hordes and you're like, hey, I have these statistics, but I don't have a full Crix unit, or a full Crix army. I'm going to play these guys in Company of Iron. I'm going to take certain cards and stuff like that are basically like mini feats and go to town.
Yep, I can see that. So after Gen Con, I mean, I know there's more releases for the rest of the year, and
sure,
a good bit of that's, I'd say what, 60%, 70% of the Grymkin's been released now?
Yeah, and we have everything for pre-release here.
Yeah, and then
I think October is the last part of the way. The first part of October, and then the last part of October is Company of Iron.
And then you're going to have what coming out after that?
So we've got the Trenchers in October as well, so everything for the Trencher theme force. So your Anson Hitch, which we've also got here, your Patrol Dog, the Long Gunners, all that good stuff.
And Company of Iron is going to be later this year, right?
Right now, I believe it's October 25th.
Oh, okay, that's good. And that can change. It's flexible.
It's a little flexible.
Don't hold them to it.
It's pretty solid.
Well, you guys are pretty solid with your dates, but I always like to do that because people whine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Little caveat on.
And then, so Grymkin's an unlimited.
Grymkin's a limited faction. Yep.
Yeah, I said unlimited. It's limited. What's the next faction after this? Or do you not know yet?
The next 2 releases after all of that are there's the Northkin theme force, right, and a couple of the new models that come with that, which was also in the keynote from Lock and Load, and then the 12 Factions of Christmas. So the 12 Factions of Christmas is basically late this year, everybody gets a goodie, right? Everybody gets a new model, with the exception of Grymkin, because they just came out.
Okay.
So like you've got a new Paladin in the Order of the Wall. You've got I can't remember the release date on the Drakdyle, but we teased that. A whole bunch of different stuff.
How many Paladins are there now?
I think that as far as different scopes, I think that makes 3, but my count could be way off.
I only have 1. I am sad. Okay, so. Well, what else can we? What else do you want to add?
I think that takes us through the end of the year, and then of course, as we get closer to it, we'll have some more information on.
That was the painter, guys.
That was Dallas Count. He just likes to be on camera.
Yeah, well,
and I like to put him on camera, so it works.
Yes.
That pretty much takes us through the end of the year. Everything after that, they haven't told me much about because, well, I don't shut up very long.
Ah, okay. Now, it's been a while since I've talked about board games with Privateer Press. Do you do both sides of it now?
Yeah, so we do have Widower. We have a few copies of Widower's Wood here, which is our Kickstarter from last year. That's part of the Iron Kingdom's adventure board game line. So it's compatible with Undercity, the expansion for that, all that good stuff. It's more the wild side of things. So where Undercity is obviously under Corvus and city/Dungeonscape, Widower's Wood is much more way out there.
Badlands kind of thing.
Badlands,
but obviously woody.
Right. So like the kind of place you might find like the Blind Water theme forest and stuff like that. So like basically the kind of place you'd find Gatelmans.
Okay, that's all good. Now there was actually I think this is before you were working. Well, you might have been working in another avenue of Privateer Press when this happened.
Okay.
Heat.
Yeah.
You remember Heat?
A little bit before my time. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Heat.
Yeah.
You guys stopped publishing? Any chance it's going to come back, or?
All of those, so like everything that is currently not necessarily like in print or like being fully pushed, always has a chance of coming.
Okay.
Right, and I
like Heat.
I hear little things here and there, but nothing that's anywhere near final.
Yeah, actually, I think Heat was actually published under the publishing title of Bodger Press, I think. Yeah, and it's a neat little card game. So if you guys can find it, it's most fun with 4 people.
Pretty sure there's still some of those out in distribution.
Oh, I'm sure there is. I mean, I liked it. It was one of the first games I got to review, and I still like it. So that says a lot because I get to see a lot of games.
Yeah, the Bodgers line was one that was meant to be games that are fun for adults to play, but that kids can play too.
And that's exactly the way it works.
Yep.
That's exactly the way it works. It's all right. Thank you.
Absolutely, Matt.
Bye, guys.
Take it easy.
Have a good year. If you